Hey everybody, it's Tori O'Neill, the founder of the Mighty Dames, and I am here with our first interview with our camp instructors. Erin, how are you doing today?
Good. Even though it's early, I'm still doing good. I'm glad to be on here.
Yeah, me and Erin are both in Florida, and like it's 7, which I don't know. 7 doesn't feel the same as when I was younger. This feels
No, especially in the summer.
All right. So, Erin, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? I'm from Florida, so I know all about you, but what would the larger Dame community, just give them a little information about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my name is Erin. I'm a co-owner at Gracie Apollo Beach in Apollo Beach, Florida. I'm a black belt under Matt Arroyo, who owns Gracie Tampa South. And yeah, outside of loving to teach, I do love to compete and fight, but my heart does lay into teaching for sure.
Me too. I like to teach, and honestly, within Jiu Jitsu, if you're not doing both, you're probably not making money. So,
right.
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people who do know you, they see you kind of burst on the scene in 2021. And you it was funny because I was like, all right, let me take this serious. I'm gonna do some research and look up, I'm not thinking like Erin, who I know through Florida. I want to see what she's been doing. And it's funny because almost every single person said relative unknown Erin came as a shock to win this. And it seemed like every time you won something, people were like, oh, who is this new person to come in there? What was it like there's one thing. It seems like to me, I'm still a purple belt. It's one thing travel, competing as a lower belt, but it seems like once you get to that black belt, especially female in that adult black belt, it's a whole new level. What was that transition like?
Yeah, absolutely. And at blue and purple, I was very consistent with competing. I was competing all the time. I was going to every Worlds, every Pans and stuff. It wasn't until my knee surgery, and right after my knee surgery, we opened up a gym. And a lot of these active black belts don't own a gym. And if they do own a gym, they got 10 other instructors to help them out. Whereas at my academy, we only have 2. So outside of Lewis and I, and I think people should be taking back on consistency, because regardless if someone's consistent, I say this old saying, I'll come back on the scene and fuck shit up again. And it just shows too, for people out there who have the urge, oh, I have to compete in order to be known, compete when you want. Right now I have 3 herniated discs in my neck that are really bad. So, and that's been going on since my Rafaela super fight, and that's another thing. When you get at high level, you're going to run into all types of injuries. Are you going to go through those injuries and later down the road when you're 40, 50 years old, you need surgery on your neck, or are you going to take care of it now? So my method with hearing people saying, oh, she's so unknown, I kind of got over it, because I know what I'm capable of doing. The people who known me forever, and there's legends, Bia Mosquito will tell you exactly how my game is. There's people who know, but now I'm listen, I'm going to compete when I want and when I'm able to, when it's healthy for me. I'm not going to put my health in jeopardy anymore. I've already had extensive surgeries. I'm not planning on having more.
Yeah, that's a really, really, and it kind of bugged me out because I realized I was older than you, but that's a really, really mature take to it, because I feel like a lot of people get in this mentality is I have to compete, I have to compete, I have to compete, I have to compete. But I'm in the same vein as you, and plus COVID kind of switched my mindset. In those, when I was a white belt and blue belt, I was if there was a tournament or anywhere from Miami to Atlanta, I was going to find a way to try to get on there. But as I got older, I was at least for me, I was this isn't my main source. This is a hobby for me. And I could mess up something that affects how I actually make money and live my life. So let me slow down a little bit. But even those higher level, you see people competing with like serious injuries just to, you know, keep their names in the headlines. So like, it's nice to hear someone who's like, you know what, I got other stuff I can do while I heal. So, and then when I come back, oh, you'll know I'm back. But like, and it's nice too, because at least what I think is you train so, like you compete so much, like I feel like a lot of people grow when they're like in the shadows for a little bit, you know, and then they come back, they're like, what the fuck was that? Like, yeah, you didn't know, you haven't seen me for a year and a half.
Right. And you know, there's a lot more unknown people that are dangerous than people that we know, you know, and not just from people competing, you know, financial reasons, all that stuff. You know, there's a lot more people that we don't know about that can do some damage than the other way around. But thank you for liking that too. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I really get pissed off. I'm like, yo, like if people really did their research, they could see what I've done in the past. But yeah, I've just been at that point, like, you know what? When y'all see me, you'll see exactly what I do, and you know.
Look, like I said,
I all over again.
Look, I know that feeling. Like even like in my like everyday work life, like I was always the youngest person in like whatever setting I was in, and they would like constantly like second guess and question me, and I'm sitting here like, bitch, do you know who I am? Like, sure, let's do it that way. I'm like, in the back of my mind, it's like, all right, well, when y'all fuck up, don't come to me saying, Tori, fix this, because I tried to tell you to begin with. But you know, like, but that's a whole other thing we can get on about, like, you know, younger Black women, people kind of question our skill level, and but we're not gonna go there. People aren't ready to hear that just yet. But so we talked about you teaching. So like, when did you have you been teaching like throughout the entire thing of jiu-jitsu? Wait, is it your dad?
Yeah. So my dad's a black belt under Royce Gracie directly.
Okay.
And so I pretty much grew up on the mat. I remember having like playing with my dolls on the mat, watching my dad teach. That's how young. And we went under the Royce Gracie network when I was like 6, 7. And I started helping teach the kids classes at 16, 17. And my first year of college, Long Island University in Brooklyn, right around the corner was a Renzo Gracie gym. Pete Lawson, he was amazing, and let me get half tuition if I was to help teach his kids classes. So I got a lot of experience with that. And when I moved down to Florida, it wasn't to open a gym at all. It was for my MMA career, honestly.
Okay.
And it wasn't until like I met my husband, and we were really—
Who's also a black belt, right?
Yes, Lewis is a black belt too. And we were helping in other gyms in the network. And when I had my knee surgery, of course, I wasn't able to fight or compete. So we were really pushed into teaching. And I've just like discovered a newfound love of jiu-jitsu after that. Because like medals and shit are great, but when you have one of your students who's been bullied for months, like able to defend themselves, or, you know, I have one student who's a psych nurse who works with very, very aggressive patients that are young too, and bigger and stronger than her. And she would get taken down and knocked down and so forth. And when she comes to me like, hey, coach, I sprawled on the kid, and I was able to restrain him and take us back until I had my supervisor come. Like, that's the stuff I live for.
Yeah.
My dogs are fighting in the back. Cut it out. They're horse playing. But that's the shit I live for.
Yeah.
And you know, when I see these people like, you know, going back to the tournaments, chasing tournaments, you know, that's only a short window.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not teaching, what are you going to be doing after that? You know, and not every high level competitor is coachable too. You know, I've been to some seminars with some high level, multi-time, whatever gradations you want to put. And it's like, you know,
I know what you're talking about. Absolutely.
Right. So it's an art. It's an art into teaching, and, you know, and like you said, it's just a whole newfound purpose.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I'm glad you said that. Like, it's that whole thing. Like, not every great player is going to be a great coach. It's actually like quite rare. And like some of that is like taking ego out of it. Some of it is simply as just like being patient, because like,
yeah,
not everyone is going to be a world champion. Not everyone's going to have, not everyone's going to have that skill, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a place in there. And like people, it's not funny, but like, some of the funniest things to me is like trying to watch someone who's like very high level teach like a group of kids how to do something, and they're very self-serious. I'm like, oh honey, that's not gonna,
no, you gotta water it down like you're talking to a baby.
Yeah, just go have them do like an obstacle course where they have to like take someone down at the end, because like that's all they're going to focus. But even at adults, they kind of get like, you should know. It's like, but they don't. No. That's why they're asking you. So yeah, but we didn't even talk about that. So you do MMA as well. Was that always like in the forefront of your mind, you wanted to do MMA? And
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even as a young kid, like I remember me being like 13 or 12, asking Royce after a seminar, you know, we were out to dinner. I'm like, man, do you think women will ever be in the UFC? And he was like, man, I don't think so. And I was like, I want to be the first woman. Came around and fucked that shit up.
She messed up my legacy. Damn.
You know, no, but just kidding on that.
Yeah.
But later on the road, when I moved down to Florida, I went right into fighting with Arroyo. Couldn't get a lot of amateur fights, so we actually flew to Maine after me being 2-0 to turn pro.
Okay.
And, it was amazing, first round TKO. And that's right after that, that's when I had my surgery. And after my knee surgery, it took me a good year to come back. I had a lot of weight. I just wasn't in shape.
Girl, I'm currently going through that now.
Yeah. And people think too, all knee surgeries are the same, you know, like I tore my LCL and PCL completely off. So both of those need at least 9 months to recover.
Yeah. And
coming back, when I did my Invicta fight out in 2019, it like I had a newfound revelation. I'm like, man, this is amazing. But I forgot how much unhealthy cutting weight was. All that. And I really took a step back because I walk around at like 165. I went all the way down to 135, which I didn't have that much, but that's still a big cut.
Yeah.
And it took a toll on me. You can even see it in my fight. I got caught twice. You know, that cut did hit me hard. And I just took a step back, and I was like, you know, me being a head coach and already dealing with surgery, maybe this is not where my full heart is to like want to be a UFC champion. I still want to fight. I would be fighting for fun, but it's not my main focus anymore, especially now where you can make money with Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
Like my main focus, the reason for starting MMA was the money. And you should never chase the money. You need to chase passion and heart.
You're just over here dropping gems for people, and I appreciate it. But first of all, yes to the weight cut. I think we get so used to like seeing people like make weight and like they rehydrate, like, oh, they're fine. And especially for women, that bill is going to come due, especially when you're messing with your hormones like that constantly over, like, so, you know, kudos to you for recognizing that. And then also it's wild that you even like, because there's not that many like weight classes and opportunity for women, it's like are you gonna cut to 35 or are you gonna try it at 45? Because that's all we got for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
That's what do you want to say? One of the girls I host a podcast with, what's her name? Brittany. I did a super fight against her, and she's like a super heavy, and like she's like a me super heavy, like a heavy, and she's been trying to she's been looking for fights. She's like, girl, I have to drop to 170 to find like 3 girls, and I'm like, for real? Like you're gonna do that? Like, okay.
Yeah. And it's such a complex that you need to cut weight.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be the biggest in your division. Like cut as low as you can. So the next day you the biggest. It's just so stupid.
It's insane. And I'm interested to see, like, now that like wrestling is becoming more prevalent and for girls, and like we know the history of men and weight cuts in the wrestling scene. So I'm watching that closely to see how that develops, because like in my mind that screams like increased eating disorders all over it. So we're gonna watch that. So but yeah, you're considered a heavyweight in grappling, right?
Yes, because the heavyweight division is 145 and up.
Just taking a second to like
right.
That's like half my body weight.
Yeah, their argument is, oh, there's not enough girls. That argument died like 6 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, especially now. But like, I know there's always been an argument for increasing weight classes for women, but like, I feel like saying 145 and up is heavy is like low-key like gross negligence. That sounds like crazy.
145 is featherweight in MMA, regardless if you're a male or
female. Like they have like a 150, like they have something up there. They have a 155 division, even though we know there's no, but they still put it there. But like in jiu-jitsu, there's clearly more women, and like constantly there's more people like coming up the ranks. But like, you can't at least push it to like 160, 165.
Right.
That's wild. So you're telling me in a few years, if I get a black belt and I stay relatively the same size, me and you will be in the same weight class?
Right.
That's fucking insane.
I know, man. I know.
Oh, that's insane.
And you know, there was talks with who's number one making a 145 belt, doing an actual heavyweight belt.
Yeah.
They're gonna do that. I don't know. I haven't heard about it since. That was almost a year ago. So
that's so wild to me.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Especially a lot of girls fall in between that 140 to 170. You know, a lot of that's really the average weight of women. It's not 120.
Yeah.
Not, you know, especially in our country. Like it's between
we are hefty people. We are a stock breed in America. We some thickums. So like that's weird. And like I've heard a lot of people wanting to add even like a 200 division in like IBJJF. And like and my whole and like the biggest argument is like these weight classes are actually deterring people from competing. But like I have like I kind of like I'm on the fence about like the 120. I was like, oh, the 200. I'm like, I would like that because I'm on the top no matter what class. Like I don't give a fuck. But like to hear you say that it's you said 140 or 145. Hearing you say it's 145 is like there has to be people who's like, why the fuck would I go? That's really that kind of surprised me. Okay. All right. So all this to say is you're going to be one of our instructors at the 2020 Dames Camp in Eustis, Florida, and you're going to be teaching Nogi. So do you prefer Nogi to gi?
I actually am a total gi person.
Okay.
I know it's weird because I compete in Nogi because the money's there in Nogi. But I love the gi. I love I grew up in the gi. There's more tools in the gi. Yeah. And you know, you never know. Hopefully, you'll be seeing me compete in the gi sooner.
All right. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so, and let's end with this. Like, if there's anyone who's like on the fence about like jujitsu, competing, all that stuff, because they're too heavy, like what would you tell them to like, be like their motivation to get them on the mats?
Yeah, what I tell a lot of our students coming in, and when they're like, oh, I'm too heavy, I'm not in shape, jiu-jitsu is for anyone. Literally, as long as you meet halfway, because jiu-jitsu is hard. You're gonna short. I tell that to my new clients too. I'm like, listen, we give a 90-day commitment because you got the schedule, you're gonna be sore. Taking Epsom salt baths, but jiu-jitsu will form you into whatever shape, style that you want. So have jiu-jitsu be like your little superpower as far as empowerment. And I tell people the compound effect. Take it day by day. Day by day, find a coach that's going to take it day by day with you, and always check in to see how your training is. I'm very with that as a coach. But yeah, use jiu-jitsu as your tool to get you in the shape or mentality that you want to be in.
Awesome. And actually, I lied. I have one more question for you, or one more thing I want to ask you about. And we get this a lot, and I've seen this a lot recently, which is kind of disconcerting. What would you tell someone who has lingering doubts about their gym or their training environment, but they don't want to leave out of some sense of loyalty?
Yes, that the cult-like mentality. What you have to think is, how is this academy or how is this teaching personally benefiting you for the long run? Going back to Rhonda, I read her book. She did a big quote, like finding the right gym is like a boyfriend. It's like finding a relationship. You got to make sure it fits with you and it is going to support you throughout. And if you're not getting that, you gotta try to seek out, other avenues of training. And, just like life, your instructor isn't feeding you, is not putting a roof over your head.
Thank you.
They're just fun. So if they're not benefiting you, you need to find someone else that is, for sure.
Thank you for saying that, because at the end of the day, we are all grown ass adults, and like, don't let another grown ass adult tell you what to do if they don't have any input besides these couple hours. It's insane, but we see it happen. I understand that sometimes it's a geographical issue. There's not a lot of gyms around there, but I'm telling you right now, you'd be better leaving the gym, waiting a few months, and finding somewhere else than staying into a toxic environment. Like, you will not prosper there. That's just
exactly
it. And then it's also really nice to just tell somebody off and then it's like mic drop and leave. So like, if you have to do that route, I wouldn't begrudge you. All right, girl, thank you so much for joining us, for letting everyone know a little bit about yourself. So yeah, guys, we have the Dame Camp. It's going to be in Eustis, Florida on August 26th through the 28th. Erin's going to be on Sunday, I believe. That's the 28th. And I'm sure she's going to have all kinds of goodies to teach you guys. So yeah, thanks again, Erin.
No, thank you, Tori.
All right.